So you want to know about Diablo Immortal? Let me give you the facts. The game is meh. Microtransactions, they suck. Server Paragon cap is trash. But some of the things that they put in the game are pretty good. Some of the things they put in the game, pretty bad. But one of the things that has recently made news is with the gems, right? So when you get a gem to level 10 and you have to use cash out money to awaken it, to put even more gems into it, what they also didn't fail to recognize is that in order to get the resonance for those gems, you have to level them up. So if you have a 5, like a question mark out of 5-star gem as part of your resonance, you might have to get that to like level 5 or 6 in order to unlock the other slots. So in order for you to get all 5 of those slots unlocked, you're gonna have to level up multiple more gems, right? Which means you need even more gems of those duplicates to put them in there. Is that a problem? Kind of, with the current systems. Legendary crests, nearly unattainable for free-to-play players. Regular crests, give dog shit for loot. Says it's 5%. I probably ran about 40 of them yesterday. I got 1 gem. Another one of the issues that I mentioned, the server Paragon cap. Now I understand the reasoning for them adding this, but it's actually kind of like a double-edged sword, right? So the reason why pay-to-win players are pay-to-win players is because they don't have time to play the game, so they would rather spend a bunch of money to progress their character in the shorter amount of period that they have to play. Well, because they only have a shorter period amount to play, their level is not nearly, in line with everybody else. It's close to the Paragon cap. I have many people on my server that are sitting at 10% XP because they're 10 to 12 levels ahead of the server Paragon cap. If you remove the server Paragon cap, this would drastically change the environment on servers. One, mostly because of the way that the gear works, right? The higher your Paragon level, the more stats your gear can have. This leads to an infinite grind loop, right? Because if you grind out a set piece, right, and you get an exceptional set piece, 5 or 6 Paragon levels later, you're gonna have to regrind that set piece and hope that you get it exceptional again in order for it to have higher stats. This is the only way to really raise your CR as a free-to-play player, is to constantly regrind for legendaries. As your Paragon level goes up, so does the stats, and those stats directly tie to your CR. Since you're not getting CR from gems because you're not paying money for the legendary crests to get those gems to increase your CR, you have to increase your CR by grinding levels. Now, if you remove the server Paragon cap, this is going to explode botters. Being able to completely bot the game and blast your way up 20-30 Paragon levels, if you just run a few dungeons, you're going to get gear that's far higher CR than everybody else. Now this is where the double-edged sword comes into play. You're giving an avenue to pay-to-win players to not only pay to massively increase their CR through legendary gems, but now you're giving them an avenue to do what everybody else is doing and using macros and spoons to grind out Paragon levels. So you gotta take your poison. Do you want to give the chance to free-to-play players to be able to grind out Paragon? Or do you want to create an avenue for pay-to-win players to not only increase their CR through legendary gems, but also because they're botting or spooning or macroing? It's a tough choice. It's kind of hard to tell based on Reddit and YouTube, like what the feeling on that is. But that's pretty much really the only option, right? Aside from making legendary crests more available for free-to-play players. I'll be honest with you guys, I've played my fair share of mobile games, and I don't really spend too much money on them. Sometimes I do if the game is fun. Dokkan Battle being one of those. The game's pretty fun. Spent a little bit of money on that one. But the one thing that Diablo Immortal differs from the rest of these mobile games is the lack of giving people free stuff, really. I mean, the login rewards are shit. The first week was basically just to like appease people during the first week, and then the last couple 2 or 3 weeks have been exactly the same. Where on your 7th day you get 200 hilts, which, you know, let's be frank, it's trash. The other thing, paying for extra login rewards, that whole boon thing that you get for 30 days, those are rewards you get for 30 days. You really got to give those out for free. Those are what your daily log on stuff should be. And if you log in for 5 days, whatever, you know, you get legendary crests. That'd be sick, right? It'll allow free to play players to, you know, kind of maintain. Because right now, unless you're immortals, you get what? One a month now? After everything's said and done, you get one a month. If you're immortals, you'll get, I think, like up to 5, because you get one weekly with Keon's Ordeal. So if you're not immortals, you're you ain't getting shit for crests, right? That's another thing, the whole immortals and shadows thing. Like, people talking about, like, well, it sucks. So, you know, being an immortal is basically being a communist, right? You got to do, when you're a shadow, you're doing things for yourself. You're raising your own level. You're doing your own tasks, and it affects you. And at the end of the cycle, you get like a permanent buff that you can equip based on your performance. When you're immortal, it's not that way. You're doing everything for your comrades. You gotta make sure you do your dailies, because if you don't, you're gonna get scrutinized by your fellow players. But then that also leads to the one big problem. If the person that was designated immortal just fucking leaves, weeks of work can be thrown away, because when it comes time for Rite of Exile, he ain't gonna be there to be the immortal to smash on those fools. So you're kind of fucked either ways. It is bringing a lot of like server politics to it, which, you know, is an MMO. That shit's great for the game. I think it's awesome having alliances between guilds, trying to find a couple people to work together to, you know, outmaneuver other people during the Rite of Exile. But the big thing is, like, yeah, you get it. The constant gear upgrading, I think there should be somewhat of a cap. I think maybe like halfway through a hell, like Paragon level, so like, you know, you need level 80 for hell 3, so maybe at like hell 60, hell 2, Paragon level 60, that's like the max stats you're gonna get for hell 2 gear, right? That way you're not forced to like if you're Paragon 60 or above and you get an exceptional item, you shouldn't have to worry about, like, you can target farm like other stuff at least until level 80. Then you gotta go back and do it all again. At least in Diablo 3, right? Once you're in the Paragons and you get a piece of gear to drop, like, if that thing was Primal Ancient and it had all the best secondary stats that you want, like, that's an item you can use forever. But then again, you know, you get guaranteed one of those a season, and the rest of them you might get, like, if you play a lot, you probably get like 5 to 10. But if you're not playing that much, you're only gonna get like maybe 1 or 2 of those in a whole season. So the other issue, events, communication. What the fuck? Absolutely no talk, understandable, because their game is a dumpster fire burning, and they're basically one out to make sure the game survives with China. And I think that dude at NetEase, nice, good job. He's probably in jail, so he won't see this video, but you get what I'm saying. Excuse me. Yeah, there's no events. Like, there should be like weekly or like weekend XP grinds, weekend increased legendary drops, weekend increased upgrade mats. If you're in dungeons and other stuff, like farming hardcore for set pieces and stuff, I think I did like 20 runs for an amulet for Caverns of Echoes, and I think I maybe had to salvage twice. So if you're farming gear in dungeons for set pieces and you're not out in the world farming for that gear, you're kind of screwing yourself, because I'm at the point now where, like, because the server Paragon level is so high, I'm about 50 right now. Our Paragon level is 60, probably 62 right now. But I only have 3 pieces that are at the max upgrade, and the other one, so I have like 3 level 9, 3 level 6. Because most of my time playing the game, I'm in dungeons, so I'm not really getting that much trash gear for mats to upgrade. So there's got to be, but then again, you have people who constantly farm in the open world, and they just have stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff. So, I mean, it's really choosing your own content, right? So it's probably my own fault. Anyways, those are kind of my quick thoughts off the top of the head. You know, I think, I mean, the game is fun to play, but like, not anymore, if you get me. Like, we need events. Like, it's a mobile game. Like, there's always events going on in mobile games, like login events. Like, they have the login event when you first can join the game for like so many million. And let's talk about that real quick. That 10 million download bonus they gave us, that was trash. Like, what the hell was that? Anyways, thanks for watching if you did.